Hey y'all, this is Mike here for another video. I did the y'all part for you Southern carnivores. So in this video, I just kind of want to reflect on the way sometimes that I feel, and I know that I get out there a little bit and I think, you know what, I really shouldn't, I shouldn't do that. Don't do that, okay? Now, let me explain what I'm talking about. So a lot of times I'll feel like it's human nature to support your team, right? And you hate other teams that are not your team. Or if you are on a political spectrum, if you're liberal or if you're right, you tend to follow. People are naturally followers, right? And a quick story before I jump into that. So a lot of times let me show you a couple examples. So a lot of times most of the time, because whether I go to the gym, whether I go grocery shopping or do anything else, I tend to park the furthest spot away from the entrance, okay? Because I want to get them steps in. Now, if I go to the gym, you figure people are going there to exercise, right? Well, I look at how many people are parked up to the front, right? But what I'm getting at, that's just the off thing. It just surprises me that when people go to the gym, they park nearest to the door. Why not park farther away and get some of them little extra steps in? But whatever. So the point I'm trying to make is I park farther away. And what happens probably 9 out of 10 times is I come back and, the majority of the parking lots are always closest to the door, right? The cars are parked. But I park furthest away. And 9 times out of 10, there's somebody parked just next to me. I don't know how many times I take a picture and I send it to my family members. And there's all these parking spots are empty, right? They're all empty. But my car and the vehicle next to me, right next to me, I'm talking, the door just barely misses my car door when they open. Now, another thing is I made an experiment, right? I was driving over some train tracks and there was a whole list of cars behind me. And I took a route because these train tracks were pretty messed up. So when you jump over them, you're all doing, you're all over the place. So I took a point to drive almost off the road. I mean, I was just a tire width away from driving off the road. 2, 3, 4 cars behind me all did the same thing. They followed directly behind me. They didn't go straight. They didn't go out the other side. They followed directly behind me. So the point I'm trying to make is with our carnivore diet, when I go to the grocery store, I pick out what I need. Okay. I don't go down I don't go down the aisles unless I need, items, whether it's, napkins or salt or something crazy, right? But I don't go down any aisle. I don't go down. There's no reason for me to go down. In fact, now I don't even go down so I was trying to think of something where I would go down the center aisles. I don't go down them. But I had to make a beeline. I know what I want. I already made the list. I hit down, I'm done. I'm out of the store. The point I'm making here is I look at what other people have in their cart. Do you do this? Do you do this? Don't do that. But I do. Okay. And I try to practice what I preach. But I look at these people and they got everything that I've been complaining about for many videos. They have the sodas. They have the chips. They have, some of these carts are full with ultra processed food. There's no kind there. It's like when you go out and you're just whatever you're doing, you're seeing people eating bags of chips and Tostitos. It's just, and I look at them like, you idiot. What are you doing to your body? Okay. And do you do that? Do you do that as a carnivore? You want to be part of a group and you want everybody else to be part of your group. Okay. So if that person's they're vegan and they're feeling wonderful. That's perfect for. I remember years ago there used to be the rage. I haven't heard it in years, but they used to talk about eat the food for your blood, the blood diet or whatever they called it. That they would go on, you get your blood analyzed and you find out what form of diet you need, whether it was Mediterranean, whether it was a carnivore diet, whether it was vegan diet, whatever it is, that's what you ate because that's what your ancestors ate. And that's your makeup and your DNA, that whether you're from, Italy or you're from, Asia, they eat these certain foods for centuries, and that's what your body deserves to eat, right? They always say, well, if you're in Florida or tropical, you eat tropical fruits because that's all they ever ate. If you're in the northern countries, you didn't eat that bananas and citrus fruits because they didn't grow in your area. So, you follow where I'm going with that. So I look at, and I think most of it is the availability of food. They talk about processed and all these other things. But we're at a time in any history that you could just, any time of day, whether it's going into a gas station, a grocery store, even department stores, or going out anywhere, right? Whether you went to a function or a family out, there's food everywhere. I remember just recently I talked to a gal from Jamaica. She's been living over here for 10 years. And she says, when I came here, the biggest thing, America's the, whatever you want to call them, it's the greatest country on earth, right? The American dream. But she said the food. She said, when I was growing up, we didn't have food. We just, whatever we could find to eat, we ate it. When I came over here, there was food everywhere. When I went to school and I was involved in groups, they had free food. I mean, when I went to the grocery store, we didn't have grocery stores like this. I mean, she went on and on about she was just enamored. She was just overwhelmed by the amount of food that she could have. She wouldn't have to fight over it, But I think the food that we have, that's the problem. You're not like, 100 and some years ago where they didn't have refrigerators. They had to bring a block of ice in to keep their cool. They had to have these ways to ferment their food, whether it was eggs or meats, to keep them lasting longer. They had to bury the foods or set it up in the trees so the animals wouldn't get it. That type of thing, right? You just couldn't go out. I don't care how lavish your kings and queens. They couldn't hold food that long. So you might have ate once a day or once every 2 days. Now you can eat every 5 minutes if you want. You can go into the fridge when you're driving your car. You can drive through a fast food place, or you could stop at a store or a gas station, where there's food everywhere. And I when I go out, you look at, I can eat beef jerky, right? But that's it. There's nothing else in a gas station or some of these other places you can eat. I mean, you can't eat anything on a fast food menu if you're a carnivore, nothing. I mean, you can scrape off the bun and the tomato paste and whatever else is on there, and you can eat the hamburger. But you hope that hamburger is real beef, right? Or you can't eat French fries. You know what I mean? It's just, you don't eat them things. They're boiled in soy oil. Fried, not boiled. And then you got to look at, like I presented in one video, that there's 250 ingredients in a sandwich from Chick-fil-A. And then one of the videos I made just recently said that Texas Roadhouse is 2% buttery in making their steaks. It's only 2%. The rest of it's garbage. So when I go out and I look at people at the grocery store, and you probably do this too, but I don't want to do this. I'm very judgmental because I'm on a carnivore diet. I think everybody should be on a carnivore diet, and that's just not realistic. I mean, I'm a gardener. I like to grow things. It's just my passion. It's just, I'm fascinated by what it takes to have something grow, whether it's just a natural tree or a flower or grapevine. I'm still going to do it because there's people, no matter what you do, are going to eat them. They're going to eat grapes. They're going to eat apples, tomatoes, green peppers, all these other things. So if I worked in a factory and I'm building a Mercedes-Benz, I don't drive a Mercedes-Benz, but I wouldn't drive a Mercedes-Benz, but somebody else would. So Why does that deter me from working in that factory? Okay. Or a Chevrolet or a Cadillac or whatever. I'm just throwing names out there. You get my point though. But I think that we want to criticize vegans and all that, whatever. Okay. But I look at it more like, hey man, you're poisoning your food. And I look at these really large obese people and I think, dude, you shouldn't be eating that. And you're driving in the grocery store in a cart. You weigh 500 pounds. You need to walk. I mean, you need to walk around the store. It's almost judgmental. It's like, dude, I mean, you're causing, and I don't know if you do this, but I look at it, I would say, I don't think you're going to last 10 years or 5 years. I don't think you are. I mean, you're already pushing 70. You're 500 pounds. You're driving around in a cart. You're falling all over on both sides of the seat. And your cart's filled with, ice cream and chips and processed TV dinners. It's just, I could see, they always say, I know some people might have an issue physically that why they gain weight, whatever, where they, it's like some people, they could eat a ton of garbage foods and they could still be thinner than anybody around, or vice versa. Some guy could eat a steak and he still weighs 300 pounds. Whatever it is, a thyroid issue or someone else, that hormonal issues. But I look at it more like, hey, you should be on a carnivore diet, dude. What's wrong with you? But some people, they don't want to budge. All right. They just don't want to budge. And I do this, and I like to practice what I preach, but it's tough when you go out there and you look at it and say, dude, I mean, you really shouldn't be eating that. I mean, eat it. Eat a steak. It's much more satisfying, but it's so much easier to get your body craves something, hungers. There's a hunger, and then you say, I need to eat something quick, chips, and you're still hungry, right? You think you're feeding the hunger, but you're really not. So I hope that you guys, if you feel that way, you're not the only one, because I do it. I'm very judgmental when I go to the grocery store. I just look at that and I that's gross. Why would you do that? Or seeing somebody that's more overweight, I can't say it, I'm sorry. They're really obese, okay? And you look at them and think, man, if you only do this, you could get out of that. You don't have to. And I always looked at myself when I was real heavy. I thought, I don't want to be like that. I want to be done. I don't want to be, what's the point where you realize that you're overweight? What weight do you have to realize that, hey, I am overweight. I'm well overweight, and just keep eating? What point does that person get to realize that they're really heavy? I don't know. It's all up to an individual. But I hope you guys found some value in this video. Continue listening, share, like, do all the things that helps this channel grow, build this community, and I appreciate you watching. You guys have a great day. Bye now.